Yo, what's going on, guys? Check it out. Today, I'm going to do the Legacy Series Summit recap. So for those of you guys that couldn't attend and couldn't make it to the series, this recap matters because what we did this day wasn't about inspiration. It was about development, like real applied measurable development. And the summit was built around a simple premise. Men do not need more information. We live in the most information-rich environment in human history, and yet execution is at an all-time low. You see, information without action is not education, it's just purely entertainment. I open the day by laying the foundation from a macro level. Faith, family, and fitness, these are not abstract ideas, but these are pillars of development, and the development only happens when you stop accumulating information and you get what you need and you make a plan and you execute. So every speaker that day was given the same constraint: 7 minutes, clear points, actionable takeaways, no rambling, no theory about application. And we started off with fitness, because your body is the first place that discipline shows up. So speaker one, I had Jay Ray. He led us off by addressing something that most people ignore until it's too late, and that's the health of your fascia. As we age, strength and flexibility don't disappear because we stop lifting. They disappear because we stop maintaining the tissue that allows movement. And his message was clear. If you want to preserve strength and range of motion and long-term health, you must intentionally treat, rehab, and train your fascia. Ignore it, and your body will collect the debt later. Chase Boyd followed with hard truth. He said, showing up when you least want to do the work is what the work is. And he reminded us all that your physical body is your resume. The moment that you walk into any space, and before you speak, and before you lead, and before anyone knows your credentials and who you are, your present has already been judged. Growth requires discomfort, and his line landed clean. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Dan Grant then expanded the lens of healthcare and challenged the group to stop outsourcing responsibility for their health and to actually study the science. Peptides, stem cells, regenerative options, these are tools that are available that most people never explore simply because they don't ask, or they don't know how to access it, or they don't know how expensive it is, or it's out of reach. And his point wasn't to sell anything. It was to wake people up to the fact that being uninformed about their own healthcare is no longer acceptable. Like, it's your job. Then Michael Anders brought structure with a simple, usable framework. He used ARA, the ARA model, to assess situation and read what is actually happening and apply things. No emotional spirals here, no paralysis. Life moves forward when you can actually and accurately assess, read reality, and take action without drama, which is a beautiful message. Great acronym there. Gustavo Dantes closed the fitness block by exposing how quickly we lose control of attention. And distraction is the new default. And those Palm Pilot computers that we hold in our hand are a weapon of mass distraction. And his solution was very simple and effective. Set alarms throughout the day. Not to do more, but to reset. Set an alarm that reminds you, like it goes off in the middle of your day, to breathe, to relax, to laugh, to recenter. You see, presence is a skill, and like any skill, it must be trained. It just doesn't show up. And then I stepped back in to close the fitness loop with a personal example. And over the past 2 months, I've dropped about 20 pounds by changing one variable, just my diet. See, carnivore works for me. It was hard. I overcame the hardness. So if you try, it's about 10 days of like, this really sucks. But I had lost pure inflammation and body fat. Energy up, body fat down. The point was not that everybody should eat the same way I do. The point was this: you need to have a plan for your nutrition. Period. Anything other than that means you're just being lazy, right? Neutral is not a plan. It's lazy. Execution requires intention. From there, we moved into faith, and I had the opportunity to have Jason Reed open with prayer and immediately challenge the group to separate religion from relationship. And his message wasn't direct. Don't outsource belief. Let me reframe that. His message was very direct. He didn't want you to outsource belief into other people's thoughts and feelings. He wanted you to study what it is that you say you believe. He wanted you to read the Bible and battle test it against literature that's out there. Look at its references to reality and history. Faith that is inherited but never examined is fragile. And it's just beliefs. Mark Jett then followed with his personal testimony, why he believes and how belief showed up in his life when he had a tragic accident, and the power of prayer, and how scripture became usable, not theoretical. And he walked the room through his favorite proverb and translated into daily operating framework. And the faith was no longer an abstract, it became executable. Then Coach Paul got up and spoke on love, not the way that people expect. He challenged the room to confront something very uncomfortable. Typical Paul. He said, you cannot give what you do not possess. And if you do not love yourself, you will not authentically love others. His exercise was simple, yet very confronting. So look yourself in the mirror, hold your own gaze, and say these words to yourself: I love you, without flinching. Good luck. Go try it. And I closed the faith segment by framing it as what it truly is a moral compass. Like, it doesn't matter to me what faith that you delve into, Jewish, Christianity, Islam, I don't care. But if you're leading a family or a business or a team, somebody has to be influencing your leadership in your direction. And the question is, who leads you? Faith provides a great reference point that keeps leadership from drifting. Then we had the opportunity to move into family, and JJ got up and spoke about leadership continuity, and that the man in the boardroom must match the man you are at the kitchen table. And leadership doesn't turn on and turn off based on your audience, and family cannot be treated as a secondary responsibility once important work is done. It was well done. He also spoke deeply on his why versus his why not, and the power of why you need a why, because if you don't have a strong enough why, everything else will break. The storm will break your idea if it's not founded in something deeper and more powerful than the storm. Dave Schonecker got up and reinforced that message with a focus on consistency. Don't lead one way at work and another way at home. Don't outsource your presence and show up the same everywhere. Integrity is sameness across all environments, which is a very powerful message for business leaders. Corby closed the family segment by laying out leadership pyramid blueprint, a clear structure for how leadership is built, sustained, and passed down. No chaos, no guessing, just a framework that men could immediately apply inside their homes. And we ended the day the way that development always should end, is with action. And every person left with a 90-day sprint, not vague goals, not intentions, measurable and objective actions tied to faith, family, and fitness, clear metrics, clear ownership, and momentum. The room was high energy, it was grounded, it was focused, no hype, just clarity, accountability, and execution. And this leads directly to what's next. The next legacy series is going to focus on youth development. Probably sometime in early April, we're going to lock down a date, because legacy is not what you say, it's what you build into the next generation. Literally, legacy. What's in the name? What do we expect? What do we tolerate? What we model. If the summit was about personal alignment, the next one is about multiplication. And it's going to come up fast. So I want all of you to start to wrap your head around it and say, hey, how can I be part of and contribute? I just want to give a massive thank you to all of the participants that A, showed up, and B, all of the speakers that took time out of their day to hone in on a message and deliver it to the rest of us, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Much love, everybody. Hope to see you every Tuesday morning on The Huddle. See you there.